Good morning, my darlings from YouTube. So today we're going to catch up for the past 2 weeks. And the last time I spoke to you, I was just looking because I always have to catch up with where I was. So the last time I brought out a video, lead to gold, orthodox, lead to tin can, lead to gold, big bang. And in the news today, we have the can, ADA, can, tin, Jupiter, gold, Donald Duck, Canary Islands. Oh, here we go. Now so I'll put it here. So that was then, and they had the canary, because this is the canary, this is the bird, this is your medulla oblongata, this is the bird, this is your brain stem that connects to the amygdala, your third eye, the stone. So the last time I spoke to you, it was all about this gold. The Canary Islands are exactly in as the Seven Sisters, and we had Uranus and the Sun conjunct under the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters in Taurus. So this is the golds. This is a post I did for Patreon. So every 2 weeks, Patreon just for a cup of coffee for €5, which is less in pounds per month. You get every 2 weeks a video, sometimes written rundown for sure, and you get a video for the month to come. So this weekend I'll be doing a weekend for the month, a video for the month of June. But if you appreciate my work, why don't you join the first tier for €5 to have this information here? So I did a 1-hour video about this golden calf, Oscar Wilde, the Oscars, they hold that torch, your brain stem. Wilde, OW, is just the medulla oblongata, the brain stem, the Milky Way gap through the brain, and the happy prince. This is Appy, the bull god, and Oscar Wilde did the famous story, the Appy Prince. So Appy the bull god, your brainstem, medulla oblongata, Oscar Wilde, and the bird, your amygdala dressed in gold, is what is happening now. So this is the false god, this is the false icon, and we're going to come to a lot we have to cover now. A building has been brought down in my village. I've always explained to you, for this time, and in my village is the stone they've dug up, and they've taken away the third eye stone. I told you we've got the book Abbé Pierre written in my village. Well, they've brought down a whole house, number 8, the middle of my village. I'm going to take you to see all this, but this is just so much going on. So, wow, Orthodox Church teaching the little prince, the golden calf, Mo's cow. This is Mo's cow. Orthodox, all gold, Thor, Jupiter, Dox, Taurus, Mercury, swallow, MJ, Mercury. So Mercury is the swallow, Jupiter is the idol. This is the calf, the golden calf, when Aquarius rules the calves. And in the speech of the king that he's just done, where is the speech? In this speech, he's put, the true north is indeed strong and free. So there are 55 kilometers between Canada and Russia. This is Charles Rex. This is why I told you this little girl, the little girl Ros Cantor, RC, won for a second time badminton horse trials. Tiny little girl on her big horse, Lord Gruffalo. Liberty and glory, as we had massive flooding in France down the Toulouse line in Montbauton, which is Lot-and-Garonne, LG, liberty and glory, the sword in the stone, the CHI RHO, CR, Canada, Russia, Charles Rex. And where is the king right now? talking of the true north, when we're coming up to the summer solstice, Prince William's birthday on the 21st of the 6th. He came here in 2016. He opened the Lion Gates. He came to the chateau right next to me. I am in the five-pointed star. Our village is the five-pointed star, and my village is called Aignan, and that is egg. It's spelled A-I-G, and my village is in the heart of the five-pointed star. It is the egg. The egg. There we have it. This is, I'm going to take you to show you, you cannot believe this, the home of the labyrinth will be doing all this. That's the coronation of the king. The chair I showed you, Justin Trudeau. He lifted up the chair. He stuck out his tongue. That's Bess, the keeper of the four corners, which is Osiris, which is the brainstem. He is the keeper of your two arms, your two legs, to get to the fifth element, your head. And what have they done in the house in my village? They have, I'm going to show you, a friend went in and took pictures. They've knocked a stone, which is the Sirius, the keeper of the four corners, and they've decapitated the head. So this is the labyrinth. The last pope was for 12 years, and now we've got Leon. And Leon, when it should be Aquarius, Leo. So for this 611, we're going to have Mars on Regulus. He's just entered Leo now. So look, there is your 13th sign. That is the labyrinth in the brain. There is your canary. There's your adder. Can-adder. There is the egg in the middle of the five-pointed star, which is what you find. My village is bang in the middle here of the five-pointed star. This is where Prince William came to Puy d'Agen, and we're coming up to his big birthday. Here's Lupiac, the home of D'Artagnan, and I showed you in my last video, and then I think the day after, look at this, the day after, as I explained in my video yesterday, Sun enters Taurus the 14th of the 5th. That's your 5-5. There are 55 kilometers between Canada and Russia, and there are 55 kilometers between Toulouse and Castres. TC, Top Cat, Tom Cruise. That's why Tom Cruise was at Cannes. The Top Cat, the Cat in the Hat, was at Cannes. And the motorway A69. A69 is again on the front page of the newspapers yesterday. I'll take you to see that. So D'Artagnan Aka Jacques de Compostelle. So this video of the King's speech on YouTube. Where is it? I thought I opened it. Where is the King's speech? Yeah, I had it. The King's speech, this video is 37 minutes long. He spoke for 37 minutes. That's your L, Israel, Taurus, Aries, and Algol, where we've had Uranus moving since the Ukraine-Putin war for the Israel war, and now all this is going to get cleared up. Okay, so just show you this, the brainstem, Jack and Mr. Bean, Sunflower Pot Men, BB22, the gardener, the green man, the Joker is given the carriage cart of the Hierophant. Venus, ruler of Taurus, conjunct Saturn, Neptune, so Neptune, north node, but in Jupiter, Joker's home, Pisces. Saturn is the true closure of the north-south node, snakes every 18 months, 18-year cycle. Jupiter in Taurus, agriculture, Little House on the Prairie, Holly Hobby, HH, 88, Amish people, Or, Gold, Thor, Jupiter, Ox, Taurus, Orthodox, Mose Cow, 13th chakra, 13 is M, but it also makes the B. Sun conjunct Uranus, so as the Sun was conjunct Uranus to make gold, this is the fate philosopher's stone. Okay, so you know all that, but what's important, so that happened after I made the last video. Here you can see there are 13 paintings on this. So there's Saturn. He is the true with the snakes that lead the carriage. And there you see Capricorn and Aquarius and Saturn. So don't forget the name of the road in my village where the church is Saint Saturnin. Here is Venus, Taurus, the Hierophant. This is the fake king. This is the true king, Saturn with his snakes. Au départ, une page blanche qui va se remplir au fil de recherche souligne artisan d'art. So that was saying that the royal, you know, this has been made by the royal people of Versailles. They've made this coach for so Jupiter was right on the bullseye between those horns, sucking up the gold as the Sun and Uranus were conjunct under Pleiades on May the 14th, 5-5, all for one, one for all, in the home of D'Artagnan, Lupiac, May, and they give so, you know, there was nobody around. It's not a public holiday or anything. It's just the first day the Sun enters conjunct Uranus as the North-South node went into, they actually went in on the 20th for the last quarter moon. We had the North node leave Pisces. But for this, they were still in Jupiter-Mercury's home. We still had the North node in Pisces. We still had the South node in Virgo. So Jupiter is soaking up the gold as Venus, the ruler, is conjunct Saturn, the ruler of Aquarius, because all this, the true Sun enters Aquarius on the 16th of February, which is 162, which is your true BP 69, 16P and B2, whereas we've got Prince William's birthday on the 21st of the 6th, which is not your true BP. 21 is the 777. It is the entrance of the 21 tarot card coming through of her rising, the Virgo girl. So tarot card combination, okay, the Chariot turning lead into gold, the transits of Saturn. So this is the journey of lead to gold. And we've got the Amish people, we've got you know, this is power to the people, this is your brainstem, this is when the brainstem that controls your unconscious emotions is given the crown, when, you know, only you can make that connection between spirit, mind and body, you know. So this is, here we go, so we've got XV11, isn't that the same as the Pope? Let's see, Pope Leon. So Pope Leon, X111, Pope Leon 2025, X1V. X1V, so this is 15th, 16th, 17th, so yeah, in the 17th century. So this was on the 14th of May after 18 months, so that is the 18 months passage of the North-South node. 18 is R, and the Carasol, they make sure they get the C and the R, the C and the R. It's got Saint-Martin, René, Achador, they've got the gold at the bottom, buy gold. So remember Holly Hobby, HH88, Little House on the Prairie. That is your Stepford Wives, everyone wearing these flower dresses at the moment is reborn. The rebirth of the Carasol. Carrosse, so this is, you know, this is the cart, it's not the chariots. So then they had in another village in the Gers, they have all these policemen come and do a play out of a mass killing, a fiction mass killing. So You know, that normally means something. Okay. So we'll just finish looking at the pictures here. So scientists make a medieval alchemy dream come true by turning lead into gold for the first time. So all this happened coming out as Uranus and the Sun are conjunct. Uranus is the modern day ruler of Aquarius, where North Node entered, and Leo is ruled by the Sun, and the South Node just entered Leo as Sun and Uranus are conjunct. And Venus, the ruler of Taurus, is conjunct to Saturn, the true king. So we've got, and God created man, the Rocky Horror Show, dressed in his gold pants. The Wicker Man holding, as the Pope did, the 5-5. This is the day the Sun enters Taurus, the home of Venus. Osiris, the brainstem, and this is the fate gods, the icon, the golden calf. And there's Appy singing at the opening of Notre Dame. And here is the story of the Happy Prince. So the Happy Prince, I read it fully again, and I did it again. I did that in a video not so long ago. But this story is really Mercury and Jupiter at this closing, as Venus is about to come. The swallow Mercury goes forever to heaven, but the little prince is reincarnated to matter. That's what they say at the end. The bird followed his words and picked off leaf after leaf of the gold till the Happy Prince looked quite dull and grey. Then the snow came and the poor little swallow grew older and colder. This is like Dorian Gray. Dorian Gray, the mirror at the end. You see the true person, and it's like grey. It just becomes grey. There's nothing left. It's lead. It's back to lead. Under all the gold was the lead. It was fake. But he did not leave the prince. Eventually he grew weak and died from exposure and exhaustion. Just at that moment, a curious crack sounded inside the statue, as if something had broken. So at last, your heart has to break before you can make this journey lead to gold. If your heart has not broken, you can't have the empathy to connect to these higher energies. And you know, if you're still under the influence of your brainstem, when you have trauma, any trauma that happens to you in your life, for you to keep growing and developing, you need to have your automatic pilot that goes on. So the brainstem will come and take over your guttural instincts, and then that can become a defense mechanism, a way of coping, a coping mechanism that becomes your way of unconsciously manipulating things, and your shadow man can take over. And this is, why all of us, if you're still under the influence, then we've still got narcissists running around, because you've got to get through the pain and the trauma, and you have to break your hearts. And so that story, the golden calf, moon in Aquarius, the true calves, the sun in Taurus, the fake calf, golden idol. So that was the last quarter moon. Uranus and the sun under Algol, and Jupiter and Mercury. Mercury in the home of Aries, where the sun is exalted. Jupiter in the home of Taurus, where the moon is exalted. And Jupiter and Mercury, the rulers of Pisces and Virgo, as the South Node enters Leon and as the North Node enters Aquarius. This is the true North. And this is why when he says the true North is indeed strong and free, he says, a reference to both the Canadian national anthem and recent threats from Trump to make Canada the 51 state. Wow. So 51 is 6. That is the heart. That is the lover's cards. The speech from the throne is typically given by the Governor General and is meant to outline the government's plan. So you've got him and Camilla, CC 33 vertebrae sitting next to Queen Camilla. The king also alluded to the last time a monarch opened. So this all happened on the new moon in Taurus, alchemical wedding, as we had Mercury and Uranus, sun, moon, all conjunct. So, I mean, it's just, we're going to come to all this. So let's just finish looking at this. Making fake gold, Sun Uranus conjunct on Algol, L as Jupiter is Taurus. Yeah, okay. So at the same time, we had the Poutine. This is always the Mose cow, the horizon, the whore eyes on. The Poot is the whore, it's the horizon. So the jewels of Venus, Taurus, Lucifer, or the torch, the light, the gold within you. You can only save yourself, not others. Saturn makes you walk the true path of suffering. Jupiter makes it easy, trick or treat. The swallow is your throat. It's Taurus. So the swallow dies, and when the swallow dies, it means he doesn't make it through the passage. Here is Osiris and the canary. This is the canary. This is the swallow. This is the Edith Piaf, the sparrow, the birds. They always say, people, when you ride horses, you have to imagine you're holding two birds and they can't die. So you have to keep that sensitivity between your hands, the reins, and the mouth of the horse. So this is your golden, there is Jude Law. The story of the golden calf is found in Exodus 3:32. So I live in the 32nd, 32 paths of wisdom. 32 is 23 back to front. That's why in my village in 2019, just before Appy, my dog, was killed, bull god Appy, they brought down the house number 23 DNA strands, and now I'll show you, you won't believe what they've just brought down in the village. So when Moses was away for too long, the Israelites asked Aaron to make them a new god. He took their golden earrings and made a golden calf from them. The golden calf was an idol that the people worshipped instead of the real gods. So this is exactly what has happened. The worship of the golden calf of old. So Aquarius is the calves. This is not the true gold. As we've got a 90-degree angle, the D'Artagnan path here, all the paths of D'Artagnan, they put the L, they put to show you to go that way, but they make it in an L in that 90-degree angle, which is the 7. That's why they always show you 79, 76, because it's the 7, the L, the 7. It is the passage to spirit through your throat, is the 90-degree angle. The worship of the golden calf of old has found a new and heartless image in the cult of money and the dictatorship of an economy which is faceless and lacking any true human goal. So the Three Musketeers, don't forget my, when I was, my ex-husband, his great-great-great-grandfather was the son of Alexandre Dumas fils, who wrote the Three Musketeers. And when I was 16 years old in Paris, hidden in the big flats, wondering where my husband was, he would leave me for hours in this very dark flat in his room. And he came knocking on the door that night, all excited, and said, "Look, I have for you, look what I have for you, my baby." And he gave me a toi et moi, a you and me, on white gold, diamond and pearl, which was given by Alexandre Dumas to his mistress, who was the great-great-great-grandmother of my, and that ring had been in the family for many years, and they waited to give it to me, and I lost it in a nightclub when I was doing Vicky Vibes. Had everything stolen when I was in Paris. Every item of all my, everything. People coming to my flat. It was a good time of cleaning out, losing everything. And that ring went. But, so all these connections, you know, and now I live next to D'Artagnan and all this So the philosophers rejected the true stone Pierre. They worship the brain stem. They don't make it. They die in self-sacrifice. The swallow goes to heaven, and Jupiter returns as a gold Oscar's idol again, as all those that never get past the Joker do. In ancient Egyptian religion, Api or Apis, alternative spelt Api-Ankh, was a sacred bull or multiple sacred bulls worshipped in the Memphis. That's your 66. This is where we're going to have these floods on 6/11, and they've had these tornadoes in Jackson again, all around. So Louis is the sun god, but we have the silver gates now at in St. Louis in America, the silver gate. You know, they've reversed as we've got Jupiter and Mars, the rulers of the Golden Gate. Currently, they have just spent from the Carolina floods. From the Carolina floods, we have Jupiter and Mars. Here's Mars, here's Jupiter. So now Jupiter coming up right today as I speak. He's on the torch, but from the Carolina floods, he was here. He was here then, and Mars was on Sirius, where the moon is right now today as I'm speaking. So Mars, Jupiter, they're finishing that passage over the Milky Way, the silver gates. Jupiter and Mars that rule Scorpio and Sagittarius. Mars, Jupiter on each side of the Golden Gate. And by the way, in his speech, he speaks of Juno. So I went to see Juno. Juno is right on the serpent, on the scales, on the judge, on the judgment. We're at judgment. He mentions Juno in here. I saw it somewhere. King's visit is an opportunity to highlight the nation-state relationship between First Nations and the Crown. So, you know, this is the... Somewhere looking up, I saw Juno today. So the true north, the north node is now in Aquarius. That is the true north. And he is between that 55 kilometers, which is... So this is the book, Abbé Pierre, The Labyrinth. So Abbé Pierre was written in my village by J. William Hudson. The J, it's the Joker. The J, it's Scorpio. Constellation is in the form of a J. And there, that was at 3:22 p.m. They set off that rocket in 2016, the Israeli president and Trump. So my village is 3229. It was called Falcon 9. Was set off on, in 2000, May the 20th, 2000. That's 22BB. This rocket was set off. Dragon. That was another one. There was the Falcon 9 and a dragon. So there is your gnome at the back of your head. This is Jacques Cousteau, Jesus Christ, JC, who, as you can see, is the same configuration face as the Prince of Wales. This is always to show you that the Prince of Wales, so they found a well in this house they brought down in my village where there is 3 passages like the fleur-de-lis, that is the Canadian flag, the maple is this bee, the abyss, the lucifleur, the lucifleur, the fleur-de-lis is lucifleur. It's the 3 directions, the head and the sun and the moon and the merging. It is the fleur-de-lis. So this is the gnome. This is the gnome at the back of your head, Saint Jacques de Compostelle. And the same thing, the Prince of Wales, Charles de Gaulle. Gaulle, it means Wales. That's why Portugal, from Portugal, the Jacques de Compostelle, Spain, makes that angle between the Pays Basque, where we had the blackout. So the Prince of Wales, it's the cycle of Venus, the tail of the whale, the sword in the stone is the sword, the 2 actions is the whale's tail. And we are at 80 years since the memorial, the V-Day, as Uranus has finished his cycle. So there you have that, the king in the middle, the crown, but he's not the true. It's got the spider, the cat, the 3 phases of the moon. He's taking the fertility. That is your gnome. He's got his nose, his ears. It's the Joker. And there you've got the jester hat at the top of the crown. That jester is the fleur de lis. So the green man, the torso field in the middle, Charles and Camilla. So from his coronation in May 23 to now in Canada, where Charles and Camilla sit together. They're sitting together at a speech right now. So it's your CHI RHO. He's holding the spect and the orb. That's your spine and your stone. And he is the Joker in between. The queen used to be the canary. So this is where we are. We're at this absolute alchemical merging. So another little gnome. It's Trump. It's the dome. And what's Trump done? He's creating a gnome, a dome. So nobody can, and look, you've got her with the crown behind. That's Jack and Rose. There's Rose. He's got the horizon and she's got the vertical. So Jack is now on the horizon, and that horizon is going from Moscow across from west to east, giving you the Taurus Scorpio, the new, taking their new north, when the true north is Aquarius. So Saturday Night Fever, Jupiter is right this second on the wand of Merlin. There is your fleur de lis, the honeybee, the apiculture. It's api, it's the golden egg. That's why they had at the Olympics behind the Louvre. This is the 77 makes 777. It is the crowning of Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. There is passage. That's why the English rider was banned from the Olympics for whipping her horse doing passage, because this is the passage in your brain, and they've just brought it down. Snoopy Dog. This is Canis Major, Can, Sirius, holding your brain stem, and the bird in the cage, Coco, Cece, Charles, Camilla. This is your brain stem, the Eiffel Tower, the little sparrow, the high priestess, the pomegranate, the top cat, Tom Cruise, the Ponce, and Ishtar, Bess, fertility god. This is your brainstem. This is the keeper of the 4 corners. This is your ability to get past. He's holding your 2 temples. And this is the Rumpelstiltskin, know thy name. This is the medulla, angry man talking to this bird, the little bird. She is the passage through in the tarot card, the world tarot card. Rumpelstiltskin, showing you just this crane, the dome, the pineal gland, the 2 eyes, as we leave this mutable cross, and we're now on Taurus, the summer solstice. All this is happening right now. Osiris is your brainstem. He is the closing of Jupiter and Mercury to rise Rose, the new Titanic, the Rose. This is the new dawn, golden dawn, Aleister Crowley. So why did it change? It's the passage they put. This is the mutable cross and Andrew's cross with the lion in the middle, and we're going to have Mars in Leo. So there's the V for victory passage. That's why they've been showing you. And Venus is right now. The CHI RHO, they kill the cow. Right now is what's happening. Chiron's last. Chiron is on the last degree of Pisces, since it was found in 1977, discovered in Aries. We have completed an Abbé Pierre, the book in my village, This is the blackberry people where I am. And there is my church, which has the red cherry. The red cherry is that red stone, the nose of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Steiner. Rudolph Steiner, the nose, the stone. This is the story of my village, Abbey, Pierre, Appy, Abbey, BP, Appy, Abbey, Pierre. And there is the entrance into the, and it's Dr. Appleton, the apple, the ab, BP, Appleton. That's why in Picnic at Hanging Rock it's called Appleyard College. This is, you know, apple. This is the 5-pointed star in the apple. It's the torso field. So this is in the home of D'Artagnan and Cyrano. So Cyrano was the liar with his long nose who gave all the sweet talk to seduce, but it wasn't him speaking. Delves into the roots of human nature. So that's why this is the king of the gnomes here. All the gnome people live here with their black casques. This is where the essence of the human, you know, this book talks all about the people of where I live. That's why it's not like anywhere else in France where I live. The people have this, you know, these are these true hard-working essence of the France of being frank. So the sword in the stone, Merlion, the sea and the lion, Jupiter, and Mars is going to be in Leo. The sun rules Leo, the Jupiter and the lion. So that is your diving whale, that is your fleur de lis, the cornerstone and the stone, and wait for it. This is my village. The labyrinth is on the Incy Wincy Spider drain pipe. It's right there. This is the year that the Happy was killed on the 21st of April. The corrida. The corrida is the corridor, the body of Ida, the corps de Ida. 322 is my village, 32290. And there is Puss in Boots, D'Artagnan, that takes the egg, AIG. He says the pole of Aries. Okay, well, the North Polaris is right on the Pic de Midi opposite. So, Aignan, Puy d'Agen, you've got up here Zion and Lupiac. And the Well of the Dragon where William came. And there he is with the fleur de lis. And there is the digging up. So this is the well. This is the stone. This is the stone. So this is a friend who got these pictures and sent me a few. And look, we've got this guy, the keeper of the, he looks just like Cyrus in the Keeper of the Four Corners. Cyrus, Keeper of the Four Corners. See the two legs, how he stands on the sides. There are better. And he has his wings. They're not showing very good. The stone. Cylinder. They're not showing Keeper of the Four Corners. Let's just put Cyrus. Cyrus the Great. Ah, there. That was the image I wanted. There. See the two legs apart. So they're showing just there's one angle missing. And it's just looked, he's on his sides. So can you imagine? They've knocked out the walls. They were just meant to redo the bakery. And I'm thinking, what are they doing? But I'm going to take you through because, so this is it. This is the labyrinth. There's the labyrinth in my village on the wall. And we're right. And we've got Prince Charles in Cannes, Ada, and my village is the 5-pointed star. This is, so it must go, you know, my village is that line between the horizon and it's on the meridian 0 ley line, but it's that true axis. So you see Aveyron Bergerelle, ABRE. So that was where in 2023 on the summer solstice, so the year of Prince Charles's coronation, they completely wiped out the whole forest. The lightning, that was the worst storm I ever knew, and that is the book ABRE. So this is on the front page of the newspapers yesterday. Chantier reprise. So we've got the CHI RHO 69, A69, and they're showing, so look, they also show the dome, the passage, life beyond A69. They show you the scales. So from this Wednesday the 28th, so this is the big court case, is whether you can make this connection. So there are 55 kilometers between Castres and Toulouse. This is TC. The 21st, of course, they're showing you the 77, and they're showing you Natasha St. Pierre, the stone on the front. They're telling you this is the time of the stone. And then they show you that there's going to be a big stand up against this A69 between the 4th and the 6th of July. Well, that's the 46 chromosomes that make the 23 pairs of DNA. So, and this is the path between Castres, the last judgment, the last chance, last judgment. So bingo for this finalization with the new moon in Taurus, alchemical wedding of Sun, Moon, Mercury and Uranus, and the 55 kilometers between Canada, Russia, CHI RHO, Charles Rex are completed. Your left, right brain, Pete, Paul, meet Jack. Two little dicky birds as the CHI RHO, and then Jack in the middle, Jack and the beanstalk, the Union Jack. Cycle of Chiron. Amygdala meets medulla oblongata, Madeleine. That's why Madeleine is now officially declared dead. She's called Madeleine McCann, Canary, CAEN. And in Paris, we have got the catacombs with all the skulls underneath the Madeleine. The Madeleine is the shape of Venus, Jack and Venus, Jack and Rose. There's these children missing, Jack and Lily Rose. So those are the names of Johnny Depp's children. So Jack, your brainstem, the canary, and the adder, Chiron's last, enters Aries cycle over from 1977 to now. Amygdala meets medulla oblongata. Amygdala, region of the brain primarily associated with emotional processes. The name amygdala is derived from the Greek word amygdale, meaning almond, owing to the structure's almond shape. The amygdala is located in the medieval temporal lobe, just anterior to, in front of the hippocampus. So hippocampus is the V for victory. It's normally Aries at the beginning, but now with the movement, we've just ended Pisces, and the new lamb, the new thalamus is Aquarius, the true north, and they are taking Taurus. The medulla oblongata is the connection between the brainstem and the spinal cord, carrying multiple important functional centers. It is comprised of the cardiovascular respiratory regulation system, to sending motor tracts, ascending sensory tracts, an original of cranial nerves 1X, X, X1 and X11. So that is your new Pope. He is, you see in this image of the Hierophant Taurus between the pillars, and there you've got the N of Aleph Tav in the triangle, and that's my village. N, A-I-G means egg, it's pronounced egg, but it's a silent G, so it becomes N, and N is hate in French, la haine, the famous film of the three boys in France, N. So that is, there's my village, it's the 5-pointed star. So I was just looking again for this Pope, this D'Artagnan carriage. So fighting for, that's FFF 666, fighting for food freedom. So yeah, XV11. And we were just looking at before that XV11, XV11. Okay, so these are the pictures here. The canary again. Again, this shows you the gnome, the two birds, gives you Bess. Gives you Bess. This is the keeper of, this is Rumpelstiltskin. And we're at the absolute, there is your oval, your passage, the sword, the new cross, and the matador, the Orion, the brainstem, kills the cow so he can take the role and he will rise with Rose. So the brainstem, and then he ignites the torch, Rose, as his. So this is the passage between Canada and Russia. This is the 55 kilometers. There it is. They're just touching. And they're making this new north here, as the true north is on the horizon from Moscow. So you've got your 5-5. There was that Trudeau and Harry, the canary meeting the red stone, Justin, Tin, Trudeau, the passage of water. So in France, the newspaper, the Canard enchaîné, old pictures of Prince Charles taking the bird stem, the brain stem, and the feather. Caen is the can, amygdala, the diving duck, Canary Islands, and then the day after I did the last video, they had the protests in the Canary. That's Canary Wolf, and his other duck drowned. And there is the leg, the angle, showing you the angle with the Canary Wolf, the vilain little canard that grows up to be a swan. Grows up to be a swan. So there he is in Canada, the Moulin Rouge, Paris. So interesting. So Toulouse-Lautrec, to lose the path, to lose your heads. They cut the head off the stone in my village. And yeah, the can is showing the wings with the dress, just like Marilyn Monroe. Somebody's showing me the pictures. Is the, you know, it's the torso fields. So you've got red, yellow, black and white always. And this is at Montmartre, the show at the Moulin Rouge. The Moulin Rouge, it's red, like the steeple of my church is red. So Sylvester with his red nose, black, white, red, yellow. The 4 elements. You need to find the 5th element, your head, and he steals the bird. This is your brainstem, Osiris. He steals the bird. So McCann, she went missing in 2007. This is an 18-year cycle of the north-south nodes. Amygdala, the egg, the Christ stone, and the pineal gland, and this stone has just been removed from my village. 73:37. That he spoke for 37 minutes exactly. Jack and the Beanstalk. We've got Camilla and Charles. 3:3. The spine, the plasma event to trine the fifth element. That is your fleur de lis. You've got to make this alchemical wedding, and we had yesterday for the new moon. All this happened for the new moon. Moon, Sun, Mercury, Uranus, conjunct. Here are the Pleiades, the Canary Islands. And Jupiter was on this star, Al-Haka, very violent. And now Jupiter is today right on the wand. Right on the wand. So yesterday we had the moon and Jupiter conjunct. And now we've got the moon on Sirius. And the biggest news of all this is, of course, that Venus has been passing, and when they brought down on the 23rd, they brought down that house completely. The moon and Venus were conjunct right on this passage. That is when they brought down the house completely, as Uranus and Mercury were completely combust. Venus, the ruler of here, I mean, and this will be the passage, the Aleph Tav, between Canada and Russia. So this is the alchemical wedding going on now, the organic gardener, this is the crown. And what have they got? They've got the, they've got the snake wearing the crown. This is the fake. So here they're showing between Gemini and Cancer. This is where Mars has just done his retrograde between Gemini and Cancer. And they've got the Jupiter finger above the Saturn. So that 37 went missing. That's your L. It's EL. 10 years gone. 10 is the 5-5. And it is the cornerstone. And so that's why on the front of the newspapers, they also have François Bayrou, the new Prime Minister, who is the Mayor of Pau. He's 73 years old. So this is your 21 passage, 777. There are 28 days to the moon cycle, and Venus is always hidden under the horizon, 50 days between her morning star and evening star and her cycle of the whale's tail. So this is the passage through. There's your 69. There's Pete and Paul, two little dicky birds. And this is when they meet the N. And this is happening right now. It's your Star of David, your pineal, left brain, right brain, Jupiter, Mars. And Jupiter, Mars are now opposite in the Silver Gateway. They've been on either side of the Milky Way gap. This is it. So this is the bull god. He holds up the sun, the Anki, Api, the god of fertility. If you do not know your name, Rumpelstiltskin will steal your child, just as when I was in 2016 for the birth of my second grandson, I had to meet the head of the gnomes. And I always tell that story. I told it to my grandchildren the other day. I was reading them Rumpelstiltskin. So there's the Mount of Olive, the thalamus, and that's why in my village we have got a big flag of Popeye, and we have got Saint-Mont Salmon, the wine, we have got the Salmon area where I am as well. Let's put Aignan map. So here is the map, and you can see, what was I just talking about? I was, oh yeah, Salmon. So Salmon, it's kind of everywhere, Salmon. It's an area of the wine. You know, this is Salmon. It's all right here. It's the area of the wine. So the 5-pointed star, the eye, this is my village. Canis Major, the Canis, the Truman Show, Cain and Abel, ABRE, ABRE. So the Abbey Pierre is written here, Abbey and the Pierre, Willy Wonka and the Cane, Cannes, the Canon, Festival de Cannes, Jupiter rules tin. It's the cross, at this cross, Jupiter tin, life in a tin can. That's why he plays in the Labyrinth, where he steals the child from the girl, David Bowie. Yes, we can. Donald Duck, this is my areas where they kill all the ducks. In my village, we have a huge factory where they kill baby ducks. So he's holding the neck. He's showing you Candace Owens, Canada, and the bowler hat is what is taken off now to dip in for the egg. The egg is your third eye. And that is exactly where we are. The Christ in the middle, the fifth element. Charles Rex, CR, Osiris Rex. There's your Osiris. He is the keeper of the four corners. And there we've got the noddy hat, the Kundalini coiled, and the upside down crown. And it's all for this passage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 last vertebrae. MP Hall. Right. So I did a whole thing about Happy the Bull God, your brainstem, medulla oblongata, and the bird, your amygdala, dressed in gold, is what is happening now. Jupiter and Mercury, mutable cross, closes at the gulge, the throat, swallow passage, back to spirit. And what happens? I'm not even aware yet. They bring down the house the day after the passage. I mean, it can be seen in both ways. They're making the passage. They're showing the passage. Don't forget, in 2022, on the 322 date, on the 22nd of the 3rd, they dug up all underground in our village. They dug up all the skulls from the 100-Year War, the Black Prince, and they've got all the solar panels up here now. The Pan, the wings of Pan. Pan is your brainstem, L's, Pan's wings. Solar panels is black sun worship. They set on fire and they let out these big black smoke of this evil spirit. So Jupiter, I'm going to let you read all that. New moon in Taurus, the 27th of May, conjunct Mercury, Uranus, the jewels of Venus, Taurus, Lucifer, or the torch, the light, the gold within you. You can only save yourself, not others. Saturn makes you walk the true path of suffering. Jupiter makes it easy. Trick or treat, the swallow, the messenger, Batman and Robin Hood. Prince William will now play this role. You're not meant to sacrifice yourself for the narcissist that makes you run errands for him. You are meant to fly, to migrate. Mercury is the journey of through the vagus nerve. That's why we had in Las Vegas. We had that big shooting. So Giza, the little bird, was meant to fly to Giza as we have this closing of Gaza. He was meant to fly to Egypt. And we've got Giza, Gaza, which is just the difference of the A between Giza, Gaza. You're not meant to, yeah. The true alchemist from Saturn led to gold. The true journey led to gold. You should have flown to Egypt, to Giza, not Gaza. AI, Giza, Aquarius. The true spring, the true lamb, P, Aquarius. But you all fell dead. Jack and Jill, Mercury, Gemini, Virgo, broke his crown. And Jill came tumbling after at the feet of the Sphinx. So the sparrow falls at the feet of this golden idol. You worship the golden calf bull god. Summer solstice is now Taurus, Venus, spring in Aquarius, Jupiter, Mercury fall, and Venus, Saturn, Sun, Mars take the fixed cross. The philosophers rejected the true stone. Pierre, they worship the brain stem. They don't make it. They die in self-sacrifice. Swallow goes to heaven, and Jupiter returns as a gold Oscar's idol again, as all those that never get past the Joker do. In ancient Egyptian religion, Api or Apis, alternatively spelled Ankh, was a sacred bull or multiple sacred bulls worship in the Memphis region. Ankh, bull deity of Memphis, also spelled Api. So this is why Api sung Williamson, like the book written by Williamson, Will.i.am, Taurus and Aries, is exactly what is going on. And this is before I knew about, you know, Charles going to Canada. So then I go to Toulouse on the 19th of May. I had said that we were going to have these big hits, 18th, 19th, 20th, massive floods, all down Toulouse. So you see, if you look at Toulouse, this is, here is Lot and Garonne, LG, and this is the path between the two wings. Look, those are the wings, the bull with the wings. That's why when you saw they put the wings on the bull, this is the torso, the gap. They have now crowned in Toulouse, to lose your head, to lose Lautrec, and flooding, flood. You saw the pictures of the floodings in France. This was the bull god, the fertility, making the new Nile. And I had to go to Toulouse for a dentist appointment. There's my village, the 5-pointed star. And so there's Castres. This is the distance to make the heads. And they castrate you. This is the A69. So all that flooding, and I came home just before the floods and the Grail began. So I was very lucky. So I then do that for Patreon. That's why I can't, you know, this was the festival I did. I found the old pictures of the festival I did at the old home I had that I called Pétronelle de Papillon, in the old house. And that was in 2013, and that's why it's important now. 2025 is the 2013 to 2023 is 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, it's 12 years from I did that festival to now. Okay, so we're going to stop. What's that? There's nothing of importance in there. That was the big storm, the hail that I missed for that passage. Look at the snow. Just got home in time. That is my golden calf. These are the 3 phases to the tree of life. There is the storm. Lot et Garonne, L and G. So this is DD, Dordogne. Okay, so you can see that this is the brain stem, this is the brain, the Brian, the GC Jane, and you can see that he's talking to everybody. So she's saying, come on, Brian, and this is your, this is the passage, the throat. And there he is between the temples of your throat passage. Yeah, you got to do it. You got to find your own way. You got to find your own path. Right. So then they blocked the train because of the storms between Toulouse and Paris, because they want to crown Toulouse, so you don't make that path up to Paris, up to Scotland, the Rose Line. So that was all the floods. Mask declared tornado in Kentucky. So, this is all happening. Paris, Toulouse is shut. The storms. And then they open in Auch a fast kebab restaurant, the Royal Kingdom Royaume. So it's called the Royaume, the Royal Kingdom. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They've got these 8 people, and it's fast food kebab, and it's called the Royaume. So it's showing you at the Lion's Gates. This is the dumbing down. This is the Mad Max birthing from where Prince William opened the Lion Gates. So that's Merlion. I'm not going to be able to show you everything. This is me explaining that golden idol. So important. And they're showing you D'Artagnan in his village. They revived the shirt. So this was, look, they just had a few people there. It was on the 14th of May. And everyone's really happy. So this is my lovely village, showing you the Polaris, the star, Maxime Philos, and they're showing you that the people from Versailles did that, and they put the tissue of Damas. So this is all from, and they put the real, they got the fleur de lis, the 4 fleur de lis. All for one and one for all in the golden fake. This is the emperor is naked. The emperor's naked and nobody can see. So, right. So then this is the big thing that happens. There's something going on in the news. So you'll never see through narcissists if you can't see through the fake heroes. All media is about astrology. That's why people like Katie Hopkins make absolutely sure you never see the bigger picture. So I saw her talking about this girl, saying that it's unfair. So make absolutely sure currently Venus is joining MJJM Mercury Jupiter, as summer solstice is now in Venus Taurus, not Mercury Gemini. Prince William's birthday, 216, summer solstice. Venus Williams, aka Batman, Jupiter, and Catwoman. Lucifer is her name. The Connolly means, it's a lie, a con. Surname is Irish and means fierce as a hound. So this girl is called Lucy, Lucifer, Connolly, fierce as a hound. The she-wolf and her Mercury twins, Romulus and Remus. Connolly is one of the 50 Venus invisible 50 days under the horizon, most common surnames in Ireland today. Venus, like the moon, has 4 primary phases of 146 days each. So the 3 girls killed, so this is going back to the Taylor Swift concert, the bird Taylor Swift, killing the triple goddesses. There is always the dark side of the moon, and Venus to complete the 4 phases. There are 13 moons per year, and each of 28 days, 777, Aka Y 31, 31, 44, D-Day, all for one, one for all. And this girl is 41 years old, and she was jailed for 31 months in October after calling for mass deportation now and urging. So this is X marks the cross. Lucifer is risen. Venus' powerful atmosphere teaches there's much more integrated part of the planet that affects absolutely everything, even how fast the planet rotates. Venus takes 243 Earth days to rotate one time. So she was in prison for this time, like a day difference. So here we go. I knew nothing about her. Lucy Connolly. And this happens on May the 23rd, the day that the moon and Venus are conjunct. Lucy in the sky with diamonds. We're going to have the strawberry full moon on the 11th. And there is the hidden 50 days of Venus. So there's that Katie. And there is Venus. She's had 3 children at age 44. So the triple goddesses and the dark side of the moon. And there's the old Venus, the same image, the triple goddesses with Venus, always hidden 50 days under the horizon. And the moon as well. They have taken away the last phase of the moon. So Romulus and Remus, and that's what they show us, her with the Romulus and Remus twins in the V for victory, as Venus is now on the V for victory. So the beach, the bitch, showing you the gun, always, it's your passage, the voice. Venus cycle, upright, reversed. And there's your whale's tail. Makes the 8, and they've brought down the house number 8 in my village. So the Venus invisible underneath, there's your whale's tail. The life of Christ, the triple goddesses. They killed 3 girls, were killed by Muslims in a birthday party celebrating, everyone dressed as Taylor Swift. So the Elizabeth line, they're showing us the new Horizon line. There she is, the plasma events, the breast of Venus, Esmeralda, the eye, the whale's tail, and Le Louvre is the female wolf. Save Willie, free Willie, and that's what he's saying. Free Canada, free the can of adders. And this is what we've got coming up for the Prince William's birthday. Jupiter and the Sun on the wand of the brainstem, and Venus will then be in detriment in Aries, and the moon will be leaving the V for victory, and Mercury on Sirius. So there is the coffin, the triple goddesses, the 5-pointed star, and they're showing you the white woman on the horizon and the black woman on the new vertical, and the cat, Osiris. So she has now disappeared forever. Lily and Jack, Turkish Delight. We've got a whole load of stuff going on in Turkey. Joan of Arc, the Joker, Joey Star, Beatrice Dow. This is your new meeting of the bird and the brainstem. It's the dark side. There is the woman that was killed with Sirius. This is Amy Winehouse in Villa Cotteret. That was to open COVID in 2019. Eliza. Okay. So those are the people. That's Jack and Rose. His wife is Elle, the new girlfriend. Jack and Rose, and voila. Don't forget the Venus Project. Go and look it up. This is Jack. He's called Jack Fresco, and he creates the Venus Project. This is where we're going to. All cities are going to turn into this Jack and Rose green Venus Project, smart cities. Go and look. that up. So Trump makes this golden dome whilst all this is happening. The 22nd of May, BB, Canary, floods, wash car out to sea, the Grand Can. Then we've got in England, somebody's put a stone Saturn, Jupiter the horse, on the cliff of the Heathcliff. By the way, Heathrow is the Star of David. I've got that in one of my posts. So this is not the true alpine mountains. This is on the cliffs. And they've got this image of this stone horse that went viral all over to show the philosopher's stone. At the same time, we've got Elon Musk, the musketeer, on a robotic horse, riding the flesh body, the brain stem. So it's always the Joker. Okay, and then I discover that the house has been demolished. Number 17 is 8, cycle of Venus every 8 years to make the 5-pointed star. Our village is the 5-pointed star of Ishtar, 8 points, Popeye, Pope elected the 8th of May, 8-5. Mercury joined Jupiter in Taurus, the 22nd of May, closing Aleph Tav, 22 BB, 22 is V, 22 is V, V for victory. It's the heart to head passage, 8-8. They pull down the 8, your passage through to 8-8-8. MJ, Mercury, Jupiter, Michael Jackson, and that's why Jackson, we had big tornado in America. Jazz in Marciac is the biggest jazz festival in the world now. Where I am, it used to be Orleans, the Silver Gate. This is showing we've got the passage now from the Golden Gate, Moscow, the 13th, to Orion, across Eastern Europe. And where I live is the Silver Gate, where Jupiter and Mercury, the Milky Way passage, it, you know, that's where I am. Lupiac is the 12th. There are 12 districts in France, main districts, and Lupiac is going to be named this summer the preferred village of Occitanie. So this was, so of course, what are they called, the people that brought it down? JM. So they're just, you know, these are just gangsters. There's no reason to pull the whole structure, the house, the skeleton, Saturn. It's the home you live in, as Mars was in Cancer on the Little Prince, the claw. Mars is still, he's now in Leo, but he was in Cancer still then. So I put this post up and it immediately gets put in, I get put into prison. So there's Venus entering the V for victory with the moon right there. It was a half Venus. Venus is half illuminated. So we got Mercury just entered Taurus. So we had Mercury and Jupiter in Taurus on either side of the Sun, and Uranus on the Pleiades. I mean, wow. The home of Venus, as she's still exalted, conjunct Saturn structure, and they take the structure of the house down. And this was on 2-2. Well, yeah, it was on 2-2 that they brought the house down. Ishtar, so that's why they put me into prison. The goddess of fertility, you know, she is the brainstem normally, and now Rumpelstiltskin, Jack, has taken her place. Jack, and he sits, Jack Compostelle, everyone walks in that dome, but the dome is the closing. You're not going to make your third eye if you're under the dome, or the, you know, I always used to say the diaphragm was the dome, the jellyfish, Jodie Foster. So look, my poor neighbour, they've just broke into his house. So, and look, this is Vivaldi, the Four Seasons, the butcher, Vivaldi, and look, it's called the Rue Saturnin. Jupiter and Mars killed Saturnin. It's the same man as St. George. It's, you know, it's this, it's Saint Martin de Tours. It's also St. Patrick. It's the same person. Look at this image here. So this was before I knew about the stone. There is the red steeple. In the church, open the doors, look at the steeple. So look at that. They just brought that whole number 17, which is 8, down. There is your 5-pointed stone. Only 144,000 make it. This is for the last element. And that's why the 36-year-old boy, Andrew Cross, died, the YouTuber, and they show you him in Arizona on each side as Travis in Paris, Texas. This is ChatGPT. This is the gap. This is the gap of the Nile, the Egypt, ChatGPT, G Gemini, P Pisces, T Taurus, dark side of the moon, and that's when the 50 days of Venus under the horizon meets the moon, and they were conjunct. They were conjunct to make the fifth element. There's Osiris and the eye, and there is my great grandmother, Mary Ryan, and she was the May Day Queen. And there they've got the imposter, the brain stem, making this pentagram upside down, and 6. So if you see Prince Charles, King Charles, he's got his flower. This is the rose, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stems, because there's the 5-pointed star of Venus, and there's this hidden sides. You know, it's the Star of David's. So the swan makes the 3-3, or the 22-2-2. It's the heart. And now I understand why my swan image in my bedroom, you've got the 2 humans making the flesh heart, and then the neck of the swan is, so Venus is air, and it's Taurus flesh. It's Libra air. So how can I, this is Psyche and Eros, taking the voice, Venus reversed and above, and the whale's tail. This is the whale's tail, the Aleph Tav closure. Find truth. Got to find the hidden side of Venus. A horse is vision, is exactly the blindness of Venus. A horse cannot see directly in front of it himself. It is that hidden vision. The horse cannot see through the deception. You have to reach Saturn. We have, this is this passage to making the oval Venus, the Vesica Pisces, the 7-7, the 2 passages of the male and the female voice are being merged into one. It's your 2 L's, the L's, your solar, pan, L's, the wings of L. 777, 21, and there's Pete and Paul. We're at Jack, the sword in the stone, the CHI RHO. And there is William Telltale holding up the whale's tail, and he kills the apple of the third eye, and you're left just with Adam's apple. Voice, the voice, the voice passage, the V for victory. And we have got, so St. Martin, they kill L, 322, skull and bones, Nimrod. This is what we had on the 27th. We just had Mercury, Sun and Moon merging with Uranus. All for one, one for all, 50 years of disco, skull and bones. You need the 4 phases of the moon to get that passage through for the Philosopher's Stone. There she is. Ishtar, Ishtar, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Scorpio and Libra. And that's so funny because my logo for Vicky Vibes, VV, and as a younger child, I created Vicky Valentine. I've been obsessed with that VV, but my logo that I created was this. It was a heart, but the top bit of the heart was separated, and it looks exactly like that. So this is the passage that they have brought down on this house. It is such a beautiful day outside. So look, we're whizzing along. We're going to do fine. Okay. Let's narcissist posts up, because it's really all about this brainstem. So look, black sun worship, solar panels, pan-L's, wings, L. Wing is L in French, A-I-L, which is also garlic, I-L. Blackjack and rose. Look at that cloud of black smoke. That's evil spirit being let loose. The whole planet is being covered in solar panels to give life to electrical beings born through the Pan's L's. The blaze is to release the beast. Wind turbines spread the damage and kill the birds. Attacking maternity, fertility, obviously pan in French. When something's broken, you say it's on pan. So yeah, it's going to be, it's absolutely terrible. Right, so we've got the power to the people going on to Chateau next to me. Okay, so that was a lovely chat with Sophia Constantine, somebody I gave a reading to in 2018 who has come on. So I have great people for interviews. Come and join us on Patreon. So that was the sun. Everyone's saying that Saturn moved into Aries. No, but Moon moved into Aries. Saturn is on the whale's tail, conjunct Neptune. So this is really your ability to get past the illusion or not. Right. So this is weird. This is weird. This is weird. This is weird. And this is what the mites look like, the spiders. They've got the mites. So this is apparently the new children. Uh-oh, how am I going to get back? How am I going to get back? Okay, great. So, oh, right. So then they say, watch out, vultures are surrounding us. And where are they surrounding? In Aignan and Puy Dragon, the Well of the Dragon, where William came in 2016. Okay, so this was an interesting post showing Heathrow as Orion, the Star of David. So this is all on a direct line, and I said, you know, this is Heathcliff, the Heathcliff. Okay, so let's get out of that. Right. And we're nearly at the end, darlings. So I dedicate this new moon in Taurus to the rebirth of our voice from matter to spirit, the V for victory passage. And then I find out the house is the passage of the granddaughters. We are the granddaughters and the great granddaughters of the witches you couldn't burn. I had no idea, but my lovely friend, poet Carrie Lee Williams, is actually the author of that. And she stood up and spoke about this in Canada. This was before I knew that the king was in Canada. Carrie has her Chiron return today. I'm very honoured to know Carrie came for a solar return reading yesterday, and her chart is the essence of this new moon. Carrie will redeem her quote and poem as we redeem our power as a collective to honour the cow as the ultimate feminine force, the mother. Today's new moon in Taurus. Taurus is the voice passage. She is the torso that holds the passage, the corps, the corridor. She holds the throat and the, this is Scorpio Taurus. This is, it should be the new vertical, and it's being made into the new Poutine horizon because the summer and spring is wrong. They're making Taurus into summer. This is Midnight Express. So I've put that on YouTube. You can go and read all that, and let's just look at the pictures. So look at that black moon that we just had 2 days ago. Mercury and Uranus on each side of the Pleiades. This is her poem. So it was 11 years ago. You can go and see I Sat in Serenade Shared with Women in All Nations. You can read that. So there's your apple, the torso fields. That is the chart. Right, Algol, Aldebaran, new moons. New moon as Pluto is still making this trine and sextile to Saturn, Neptune, North Node now in Aquarius. And the biggest thing is, look, we've got Chiron conjunct Eris, the liberator. Eris, the liberator, are both on the last degrees of Pisces before this whole new beginning in Aries. And Jupiter is right on the wand of Merlin. And Mars was right. Mars was right on the Little Prince. Right, so from these past few days, from the 23rd, the 21st, he was really on the claws of the Little Prince. So for this new moon, the moon rules Cancer, and Mars was just in Leo. Mars entered Leo. So, the sun rules Leo, the moon rules Cancer, and we have the sun and the moon conjunct new moon in the home of Venus as Venus enters the V for Victory voice passage. It's just wowzers. Trying to explain to people Neptune and Saturn conjunct on the whale's tail, which is that cycle. So this is very good for your money, for creating anew. This is for us personally, getting your worth in place. We've finished all that time of Uranus moving backwards and forwards under Algol. We're moving forward now. We've got Mars finishing his retrograde. He's now fully in Leo. It's great energy. So I'm at an hour and a half, so I need to get my day going. It's midday here. So this is that famous poem I always tell you about, Barbara the Aigle Noir. So this is about to happen. That's my logo. Well, here you go, talking about, was my old logo. This was for the parties I did. And I just put that there because I put the V for Victory. And my little DJ, who is now Polo and Pan, the biggest group, all the people, Polo, Pan. So as soon as I left Paris, so 8.3 million views. So I remember the people who run the club said, "Oh, you're not going to bring that Polo guy." And actually he has become, but with Pan. So this is Pete and Paul. He's called Paul, Polo and Pan. So instead of Pete and Paul, we've now got PIneal. And they have brought in all this pink and blue and very juvenile energy of the new. Their first ever hit was Dorothy, and you just see the Garden of Eden being sprayed by dew and being destroyed. But I can't tell him all that. And his wife is Turkish. So yeah, I can't tell him all that. I can't tell. They don't get it. People have to do their own paths and their own lives, because everybody, it's like my son doing all his music. I know it's for the right, we're doing the jobs that we're meant to do. You can't stop people's journeys. You have to let people. And so there is the journey back to spirit. This is they don't shoot horses, Eros and Psyche. Eros and Psyche, so the wings of Lucifer to make the passage of the throat. It's your V for victory. Find that spirit. So this is truly, so the Milky Way is the horse's hoof. This is the Joker. The horses pulled the cart, the chariot. It's not a chariot, it's a cart. And you know, the voice is the spirit. It's the snakes that pull Saturn, not the horses. So Osiris is the cat. Amélie Poulain is the black magic woman. And that is, I've always said that Taurus, if you get past the 5 senses, you find the 6th sense. The 6th sense is when you get past that animalistic medulla oblongata.